Right. Thank you so much. Very good afternoon, everyone. And it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this one day national level FDP by IoT Academy. Yes, sir. And today we will focus on the theme advanced teaching methods in higher education institutions. Right? Okay. To begin with, please allow me to pose a thought provoking question to all of you. So, if you see these pictures, this image, what do you think is the difference here? A respected audience, if you just look at this image, do you think there is some sort of difference? If yes, what is that? You can type it in the chat box, or even you can unmute yourselves and answer this. On the left hand side, we have traditional methods, and on the right hand side, yes, we have advanced methods. What do you think is the difference here between the two methods?
The advanced methods actually is indicating collaborative learning, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, very true. What else? Thanks, Rashmi ma'am, for that input. Then, okay, Mahesh Kumar sir says it seems students are not listening to the teacher. Okay, in which picture, sir? Is it in the traditional methods or is it in the advanced methods? Right side. Oh, in the advanced methods. Okay. What else? Would anybody like to give any other inputs? Others? Any other inputs from your side? If you see these pictures, one is the traditional methods and one more is advanced methods. What do you think is the difference between these two? Right. Okay. I see many people are still joining. No problem. So let us consider this as a tale of two classrooms. One is traditional versus advanced teaching. First, let me come to classroom A, which is on the left side, where we see that the traditional method rules. So the teacher, if you probably observe, he is lecturing at the blackboard while students they are passively taking the notes, and we can make out that learning here it revolves around textbooks, and there are also standardized tests with a heavy focus on maybe memorizing the theories. So it seems from the image that interaction is also very minimal and creativity is taking a back seat because students are just preparing themselves to regurgitate or to repeat information during their exams. So in the next door, in classroom B, which is on our right side, the atmosphere seems to be totally different, right? Here, the advanced methods, they are taking the center stage. If you notice, the teacher here, he is acting as a facilitator. He is guiding discussions, right, rather than dictating them. And students, as Rashmi ma'am rightly said, they are collaborating in groups, right? As Mahesh sir was telling us, the teacher here, he is guiding, he is allowing the people to discuss amongst themselves. That is the thing here in the advanced methods. And people, the students, they are also using digital tools and the real world data for a project. Means here in the classroom B, right, they are learning by doing. They are debating solutions. They are analyzing data and they are trying to present their findings. We can think in this manner. So here what will happen in advanced methods, the feedback is also instant, and we have to thank the AI driven platforms which will adjust content to the learning needs of our learners. And obviously evaluation, it is also dynamic. Instead of just tests, students are engaging in simulations, presentations, especially to demonstrate their skills. Am I right? See, both classrooms, they are aiming to teach the same subject, but which one do you think is better, audience? Classroom A or B? Rashmi, class B. Okay, what about others? Which classroom is better? What do you feel, audience? Okay, Lata ma'am says class B. Elamati ma'am says class B. Others? Okay, Mahesh Kumar sir also says in today's scenario, a classroom B. Okay. Rashmi ma'am asks, also works when the class strength is small. Yes, ma'am, definitely. For GDs, usually group discussions, the groups will only be small, maximum up to 12. 8 to 10 is the proper size of a GD group. Uh, Nishat sir says class B. Okay, fine. So you all feel that classroom B is a better one. Why means we are observing the shift towards advanced methods, and it is actually reflecting the need for innovation and engaged learning, especially in today's education. So, in short, these methods are needed to make our education more dynamic, inclusive, as well as future ready. See, Classroom B, it ensures that students aren't just learning for their exams, but they are learning for life. Am I right? Are we on the same page? Am I too fast? Is the pace fine, participants? Yes, Lata ma'am, it's class B, of course. Thank you, Rashmi ma'am. And NEP 2020 also emphasized transforming our Indian education system, especially to make it more holistic, multidisciplinary, flexible, as well as aligned with the needs of our 21st century. Okay. Now, we have understood that classroom B advanced teaching methods are a better way of teaching. Now, let us delve into the advanced teaching methods that are actually reshaping our modern education. So these methods, they just go beyond the traditional approaches, whatever we discussed. It could be something like the teacher-centered instruction or just emphasis on rote learning, standardized curriculum, or that unreceptive student participation, or we also observe that in the traditional methods there is most focus on examination grades, that hierarchical classroom structure, plus that one size fits all approach which is not working anymore, right? There is a strong emphasis on discipline, there is a linear knowledge transfer and very minimal use of technology in classroom A, isn't it? So that's why let us see in detail what actually our advanced methods are focusing on. Are we ready? Can I have a quick yes or no? Are we ready to explore the advanced teaching methods? Yes, sir. Thank you, Mahesh Kumar, sir. Thank you, Lata ma'am. Okay. At first, we have flipped classroom, reimagining the traditional learning. So let us flip the script on the way we have always thought about learning. In a flipped classroom, the traditional structure it is turned upside down. What do I mean by this? Instead of passively sitting through lectures during the class time, what we observed in our image number 1, students they are given opportunity to explore materials at their own pace, at their own speed, outside the classroom. Does anybody know how this works? Flipped classroom concept? Would anybody like to share any ideas about this? Thank you, Ilamati ma'am, Pavi ma'am, and Kokila ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. Would anybody like to share, if at all you know, how flipped classrooms work? Any vague idea about this? Yes, Pavi ma'am, you have raised a hand. If possible, you can unmute yourself and please let us know your thoughts. Okay, Rashmi ma'am says we prepare the class before the actual topic is covered by giving reading material. Perfect. Mahesh Kumar sir says I have not used it yet. No problem, sir. Let us discuss now. If at all this is suitable for your classroom, you can definitely make use of it. Aishwarya Rai ma'am says, sorry, Aishwarya ma'am says, in teacher place act student. Not actually, ma'am. I'll tell you. Lata ma'am says giving PPTs. Okay. Okay. Mahesh Kumar sir says I'm using traditional method. Fine, sir. Okay. Right. Now let me start telling the process how you can use flipped classroom. First, you'll be having pre-class activities. That means before class even begins, students engage with videos, readings, or recorded lectures as homework, as Rashmi ma'am rightly pointed it out. Think of it like a binge watching. We all do it, right? But maybe it is like a documentary on a subject. What is happening here? Instead of Netflix, it's all about learning here in our flipped classroom. Now, in the pre-class activities, this allows learners to explore the material, whatever the teacher has provided. It could be videos, it could be any handouts, anything. So, learners can explore the material in their own time. They can stop, they can rewind whenever needed. Means we are giving them full control over their learning pace. Next is in-class engagement. Now, when it is time for class, there is no such type of long lecture from the professor. Instead, the focus is more on interactive learning, group discussions, hands-on activities, problem solving. So students, they dive deep into the material. They share their own ideas and they also learn from each other. You can just imagine this like something like a dynamic collaborative workshop where everyone gets involved. Then enhanced understanding. Yes, the magic happens here because students have already familiarized themselves with the content. Now, the class time becomes a space for deeper discussions. The students, they come prepared with questions, which leads to more meaningful interactions. And as a result, students, they are not just memorizing the material, but they are truly understanding. Then, say for example, let us say you are teaching a business strategy class. Now, instead of explaining the theory of competitive advantage during your lecture, what you can do is you try to assign a short video or an article on the topic as homework. Now, when students come to the class, they are already familiar with the basic concepts. What you can do now is you can lead a lively group discussion on how these strategies play out in real companies. You can ask students to put joint efforts. They can solve a case study about a company's competitive position. Now, the students will actively involve in content. They are not just listening to the lecturer's talk. You might ask me, ma'am, why it works? Simple. Two things. First one is personalized learning. In a flipped classroom, the instructor can address individual needs during the class time. He or she, yes, the lecturer, the professor, anybody, they can offer support to the students who may be struggling, or they can even guide those more advanced learners to deepen their understanding. Second thing is student preference. See, 70% of students, they prefer flipped classroom model. Why? Because simple reason, it is more interactive, it is more engaging, allowing the students to take control of their own learning journey. Right? Audience, is this clear to you? Is flipped classroom clear? Okay, thank you, Aishwarya ma'am. Let us see the next advanced method. Project-based learning. We call it as PBL. Anybody familiar with this concept, with this method? Project-based learning. Have you ever come across? Thank you, Mahesh Kumar sir. Others? Have you come across this project-based learning? Yes, Rashmi ma'am, can you just give us a broad idea of what is this PBL? Ma'am, hope you can unmute and you can speak.
Yes. I thought that writing it down becomes difficult. I'm actually from a allied health background. I'm a speech and hearing professional. So, yeah, this is an activity which we will do in a daily clinic-based activity. So they have a patient, and the group of students work on the patient, and then interactive learning as well as discussions happen there. And so, since ours is kind of a medical model, so it's easier for me to, yeah.
Please, ma'am, is there anything that you can share with us? Any example how you do this PBL, project-based learning?
For example, we ask my third BSc students actually have to do something called as the clinical conference. So they take up a case. Three or four people sit together. So each one will look at the patient, and then they will look at the case history. I mean, that's the methodology we use, and they will do the assessments, and then they will present it to a bigger group of people. And there is an interaction which happens, questions and answers regarding the treatment part of it, and that's how they learn.
Oh, perfect, ma'am. You have just made my job very easy. So thank you so much. As Rashmi ma'am rightly said, in PBL, others mute your mic. Thank you. So in the project-based learning, the focus shifts from just listening to doing. Imagine your students, as Rashmi ma'am was also telling us, if they are rolling up their sleeves and they are diving into that real world challenges and they are trying to learn through hands-on experience rather than that obedient note taking. Means this method, it is all about active solution finding, teamwork, as well as real world application, all in one. Real world relevance. See, in PBL, project based learning, students work on projects that solve real issues. And you have already got an example, a beautiful example from our Rashmi ma'am. So this is making learning much more meaningful. For example, instead of merely studying the sustainability theories, students, they can design a recycling program for their campus. Now, what is the use of this? This makes the theory come alive as they see the direct impact of their efforts. This is PBL. This is project based learning. Collaborative work. Teamwork, it is the heart of project based learning. Students, they learn to communicate, negotiate, as well as collaborate. And these are the very important skills they will need in any career, whichever career they take up. So you can even imagine a group of students working on developing maybe a marketing plan for a startup. They learn to navigate different opinions. They know how to delegate the tasks, and they can deliver a cohesive strategy just like in a real corporate setting. Case studies. Students here immerse with real business scenarios. Especially, they want to just develop those problem solving skills. Let us say they are analyzing maybe why a popular retail chain, why is it losing a market share? Just an example. Now, these students, these learners, they must research, they must brainstorm solutions, and also present the actionable strategies, just as they would do it in a boardroom. So, this hands-on approach, it sharpens their critical thinking, as well as they also get practical insights on the way. And community projects. See, project-based learning often goes beyond the classroom. And partnering with local organizations, it provides the students with service learning opportunities that also enrich the community ties. What they can do, they can work with a NPO, non-profit organization. They can try to design a local food drive campaign. And all these will teach the students about first thing about the project management. Plus, also they are giving back to the community. It becomes a win-win. Don't you think so? Then enhanced engagement. See, research shows that project-based learning, it actually boosts connection as well as knowledge retention. When students, they actively participate in learning, they are more likely to remember whatever they have. Hope we all have experienced this. And a study also found that Students in PBL, project based learning environments, they were 16% more engaged, and they demonstrated better long term cognitive retention than those who just attended those traditional lecture based classes. So, so just think about a group which designs a mobile app for, maybe for urban navigation. What will happen here? They will remember the experience long after even their exams are over, right? So in essence, project based learning, it transforms students into problem solvers, into collaborators, innovators. So by working on real issues, they're not just learning, they live the learning process. And definitely this process becomes more memorable as well as impactful. Hope you all are grasping the concept. Are we clear? Are we clear? Okay. Should I explain it again, Mahesh Kumar sir, or are we clear? Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes. Gamification, engaging students through game elements. So, how does this work? So, as soon as we listen to this word itself, we are a little more excited. Now, you imagine turning your classroom into a space where your students are feeling excited about learning as they do playing their favorite game. Interesting, right? So gamification, it brings that energy by incorporating game-like elements into education. Means this is making learning more fun, interactive, as well as highly motivating. So this is not just about playing games. Okay? It is about using that game mechanics so that you can drive commitment, participation, and better learning outcomes for your children, students. So, rewarding students with points, badges, or achievements, this will be motivating them to participate more actively. Say, for instance, a student, he or she, who earns points for each completed quiz and they are receiving a badge maybe for that perfect attendance, they feel, yes, a sense of accomplishment, right? So just think of it like earning those frequent flyer miles. The more you connect, the more you earn. Simple. So research also shows that 89% of students, they say these rewards make learning more enjoyable to them, and it encourages them for a consistent participation. Leaderboards. These leaderboards, they foster a healthy, a friendly sense of competition. Now, by allowing students to track their progress against their peers, they understand, where do I stand? What is my ranking? Now, what will happen? They feel motivated to push themselves harder. Yes, because if you see on number one, right, on that leaderboard, so everybody struggles to become that number one, isn't it? In whichever field we are, whether we are a student, whether I'm a teacher, anything, always we want to just stand out of the crowd, right? So just picture a coding class where students, they climb a leaderboard, maybe based on their problem solving speed. They just see their names move up the ranks. Now what is happening? It is sparking both pride as well as determination in them. In fact, studies also indicate that leaderboards, it can lead to a 34% increase in assignment completion rates, it seems. Fantastic, right? Then course design. The gamified elements, it could be like timed quizzes, interactive challenges, bonus rounds, all can turn your routine assessments into exciting experiences. Say, for example, you can transform a history quiz into something like a time travel mission. Here, students, they unlock those different eras. How? Through correct answers, right? And this process is making learning more immersive. So this kind of game infused design, it helps retain attention and also it deepens the understanding of your participants. And interactive platforms. So this is something like the technology behind fun. We all know about platforms like Kahoot, there is Classcraft, Quizzes. All these platforms, they are making gamification easy to implement. And these tools, they allow us, the educators, we can design interactive quizzes, virtual challenges, collaborative games that brings learning to life. So just imagine your students who are competing in a virtual treasure hunt, or maybe to answer science questions, who will be earning clues on the way, and they all just work as a team. What will happen? Suddenly their learning is no more boring, but it becomes an adventure. Correct? Okay. Then increased motivation. So gamification, it drives higher participation and assignment completion rates. See, when students know they will earn points or they climb those leaderboards, they are more likely to participate. Institutions that have adopted these gamified strategies, they have already reported that there is a 20% increase in assignment submission rates of their students. Why? Because students see each task as a part of their reward system rather than looking at it as a just another core or just like something like a routine thing, right? Then enhanced learning outcomes. So we all have understood that gamification, it is not just fun, it is effective also. Studies show that gamified environments, it can improve knowledge retention by 40%. Say students who engage in gamified math challenges, for example, they retain problem solving techniques better than those who are in traditional settings. So this is because the interactive, the vibrant, as well as that enjoyable nature of the task, this is what is helping our children, our students. Their brain, it can preserve information for a longer time. Hope you all are able to follow along. Are we clear? Thank you, Mahesh sir. Okay. Then we have a concept called active learning. Means in simple words, we are also engaging our students in the process. So active learning, it's a transformative approach that shifts students from being inactive recipients of information, because I'll be just lecturing. Mine is one way communication. Students, what else they can do? It is not an interactive class. They'll just be inactive recipients only. Now, through this active learning, what we are trying to do, we are trying to shift our students from just being that inert, inactive recipients of information to active participants. And this is very, very important in their learning journey. See, in today's fast paced, ever changing world, knowledge alone is not just enough. So, students need to develop their objective analysis, co creation, problem solving, strategic thinking skills, and active learning. It delivers exactly that. Let us try to understand it in a more deeper sense. Active learning strategies. So, this is something more than just listening. See, traditional lectures often involve students, as I told you, they inertly absorb information, but active learning, it tosses the script. Here, students are encouraged to connect with the material. They can ask questions, they can debate ideas, and they can also apply concepts in real time. So, this hands on involvement, it intensifies their understanding. Plus, it also keeps them motivated. See, for example, instead of a professor explaining the principle of aerodynamics, allow your students only to design a model aircraft. Let them test it in the wind tunnel, evaluate its performance, suggest improvements, maybe to enhance lift or to reduce drag. How this is possible? Only through hands on experimentation. Interesting, right? Then we have think, pair, share technique. Audience, what do you know about this? Think, pair, and share technique. Have you ever come across this? Yes, thank you, Selva sir and Sumati ma'am. What is this? Think, pair, and share technique. Anybody? Even if you just don't know, you can give it a try. I have just given a clue on the slide. Anybody wants to try? What is this think, pair, share technique? Okay, I don't see any answers. No problem. So this strategy,
So
yes,
engaging the students by learning, thinking, discussing, and investigating, creating methods.
okay. Thank you, Dr. Parthiban sir. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Others, please mute yourselves. So as I was trying to tell you, this is a strategy. This strategy, it is a game changer for attracting everyone in your classroom. You all must be wondering how it works. As Dr. Parthiban sir was trying to tell us, think means students individually reflect maybe on a question or on a problem. Pair, they discuss their thoughts with a partner. Share, and these pairs then they present their insights to the class. Very simple, yes, yet it is powerful. So just imagine a question, something like how to design a colony on Mars to support human life. If you ask this, we have think, pair, and share. First, students will try to examine individually on challenges, something like oxygen production. You have just posed a question to your students: how would you design a colony on Mars to support human life? Now, what students will do under this method? They will try to examine individually on challenges like oxygen production or supply of food, energy resources, all these things. Then what they do? They pair up to combine their ideas, right? They try to consider those different survival strategies. Finally, each pair, they present their vision to the class, and now they will be sparking a range of innovative solutions. Now, this is not only amplifying their learning of the space science, but also it is encouraging higher order thinking, synergy, working in teams, creativity. Fair enough? Yes. Then we also have a peer teaching approach. So this is something like learning by teaching. When students they teach concepts to their peers or to their co-learners, they are not just memorizing, but they are mastering the material. See, peer teaching, it requires them to organize their thoughts, clarify their understanding, as well as explain in a way that others can also grasp. Suppose in a psychology class or in a psychology any course, students might be assigned to teach say various cognitive theories. Now, this method, it is not only reinforcing their knowledge, but also it is building confidence, communication skills as well. And research also tells that students they retain 90% if they teach. So 90% of whatever they teach, they are able to retain it. When we compare the same to just 10% of what they hear in a one-way lecture, right? What are the benefits of active learning? As we all have understood that it leads to better retention or sustenance, and there is a greater conceptual comprehension. If you ask me why, because students are actively processing information, they are making connections, they are trying to apply that knowledge. So students engaged in active learning environments, they score 15 to 25% higher on tests than those who just attend those traditional lecture based classes. So they're not just cramming for exams, but they're truly trying to grasp the concepts. And of course, this is what we want them to exactly do. Isn't that so? Okay. Development of critical thinking. Something like the heart of active learning. See, active learning, it just thrives on discussion, debates, group effort, and all of these are boosting the evaluative thinking. Now, by analyzing case studies or solving real world problems and trying to engage themselves in the group projects, students they learn to appraise information. They consider everybody's viewpoints, different viewpoints, and make well reasoned decisions. Suppose in a law, students might be tasked with arguing both sides of a legal case. Now, believe me, this kind of a thing, right? It will be sharpening their analytical as well as reasoning skills in the process. Okay? Yes. Any doubts in this? Active learning? Yes, sir. Rashmi ma'am, they'll be solving question in pairs, correct? Sharing the thoughts, correct, Mahesh sir? Okay, no doubts. Okay, let's move on to the next method, that is experiential learning. What's behind this idea, respected participants? What is experiential learning? Yes, Ritvik sir, please. You have raised your hand. Yeah, you can unmute and you can speak. Others, you can give it a try. What is experiential learning? Okay, nowadays it is preferred way in engineering college, says Mahesh Kumar sir. Okay. Others? No problem, sir. I'll try to explain it now. Anybody wants to tell us what is this experiential learning method? Aishwarya ma'am says learning by exploration. Okay. Any other inputs? Okay. So experiential learning, it takes the age-old wisdom of learning by doing and turns it into a structured, impactful approach. Okay. Instead of just reading the theories or watching the lectures, students they involve directly with the real world situations and think about their experiences to draw the meaningful insights. Now, this cycle of experience, reflection, and application, it ensures there is deep insight as well as that extended retention. Concrete experience. This is something like hands-on real-world engagement. Just imagine a geography student not just learning about coastal erosion in the classroom, but actually visiting a coastal site to observe the phenomenon firsthand. What they do, they gather data, they assess the impact of waves on the shoreline, and coordinate with local environmental agencies on erosion prevention strategies. What is happening here? This is a hands-on involvement, what we observe, and this is offering a practical understanding which will be enhancing textbook learning. Means, in simple words, it is making those abstract concepts more tangible, more digestible to your students. Reflective observation. So, after engaging in these experiences, what learners will do? They are encouraged to step back and review. Now, they will analyze what worked, what didn't, and why. Now, this reflective phase, it is crucial because it helps your students move beyond just doing to understanding, right? Not only doing, but they are trying to understand something. If your students say they are participating in a mock negotiation, maybe during a law class, afterwards, what they do, they discuss how their strategies played out. They just look back on the emotional dynamics. How were their communication styles? What were the outcomes? With this, what is happening? It will also be honing, right? Their analytical thinking as well as their decision making skills. They can refine all these skills. Then, abstract conceptualization means formulating theories from experience. Here, students take their reflections and they generalize the concepts. What they do is they link their real world experiences to academic theories, or they try to develop new frameworks based on whatever they have observed. Suppose after working on a team project, maybe in a leadership course, students they might notice that maybe clear communication was the key to their success. What they do, then they try to relate this leadership theories, something like a transformational leadership. They understand how communication drives team motivation as well as uh, how can they succeed. That is the thing. Then coming to active experimentation, here you will be applying knowledge to new situations. So here the students take their newfound insights and they try to test them in new environments. What they do, they apply their theories to different scenarios. They refine their understandings through continuous experimentation. Suppose a student who has just finished his or her internship in a retail store and they have just assessed on how the customer engagement works. What they will do in their later stage, they start working on launching an e-commerce platform. Means they are applying the same customer interaction principles but maybe in a digital space, because I said it is a e-commerce platform. Now this experimentation, this is what helps them to adapt, innovate, as well as they can build a stronger grasp of business models across industries. So why experiential learning matters? Excuse me. So studies indicate that learners they retain up to 75% of what they practice compared to just 5 to 10% of what they hear in lectures. So it's about moving, say, beyond unresponsive absorption to active, impactful learning. See, whether it is internships, simulations, or even hands on projects, the key is learning by doing, reflecting, and applying. Uh, Personalized learning. So, this revolves around customizing the educational experience to fit each student's unique preferences, their unique abilities, as well as their learning pace. Let us try to explore each element under personalized learning. So, personalized learning pathways. They are designed around students' interests, the goals of your students, as well as the abilities to keep them occupied and stimulated. Say, in a history class, one student might focus on military strategies of World War II, while another student, he or she is trying to explore its cultural impacts. Both the students, they are learning history only, but through different personalized angles and which is catering to their interests. Are you getting my point? Yes. Then adaptive learning technologies. So they'll be using AI, artificial intelligence to adjust the content, the difficulty level, as well as a pace that is based on a progress of a student. For example, maybe in a math platform like Khan Academy, if at all a student is struggling with algebraic equations, now the software, whatever they use, it may offer the additional practice problems, explanations before moving on. Means they are ensuring that the student master the topic at their own speed. This is what we call as adaptive learning technologies. Then assessment tools. See, frequent assessments, it helps us, the teachers, to understand your students' strengths. What are their areas of improvement? We no more call them as weaknesses, but those are their areas of improvement. Means it will be guiding the personalized interventions. Suppose as a teacher, if you use those weekly quizzes to assess your students how much they have grasped the concept. If at all your student, one of your student, he or she excels in problem solving, but the same candidate, he or she is struggling with, say, theory, just an example. As a teacher, what you can do, you can assign him or her a more theory focused exercises, or you can try to provide them one-on-one tutoring. So this is how the assessment tools will help us. Then student choice. See, allowing your students to choose topics or projects, this will be empowering them and it increases their intrinsic motivation. Say, in an English class, students, they might choose between writing a research paper or creating a podcast or trying to develop a video project on any theme that you have given. Now, what will happen? The flexibility, whatever you have provided to your students, it helps them to feel more connected to their work. And ultimately, what is happening as an instructor, you are promoting a deeper learning experience for your learners. So, personalized learning, it transforms your classroom into an energetic, student-centric, right? Student-centric environment. And also, it increases that drive, that inspiration, motivation. Plus, it is promoting autonomy of your students. As well, it is enhancing the overall learning outcomes by addressing each and every individual's needs of your classroom. Um, Next, we have culturally responsive teaching. Are you aware of this concept, esteemed participants? Culturally responsive teaching. What is this? No problem, Mahesh sir. What about others? Are you aware of this concept? Culturally responsive teaching. Can I have a yes or no? Okay, Rashmi ma'am. What about others? Is anybody aware of this concept? What is culturally responsive teaching? It also gives us a hint, inclusivity in education. Okay, no problem. So, yeah. Uh, Hamira Nafis sir, you wanted to speak something? Please go ahead. Hamira Nafis sir, you wanted to speak something? Yes, you can share your thoughts. All right, no problem. So, in simple words, culturally responsive teaching, it involves, as a teacher, you recognize and integrate your students' cultural backgrounds, their experiences, their perspectives into your learning environment. I repeat, culturally responsive teaching means it involves recognizing and integrating students' cultural backgrounds, students' experiences, and their perspectives into your learning environment. Let us slowly discuss the strategies and their impact. First thing is relevance. So relevance here under culturally responsive teaching means making the curriculum relevant. How means by connecting lessons to students' cultural backgrounds as well as their real life experiences. Now, this also enriches their knowledge as well as interaction. Say, for example, in health science, if you are trying to discuss nutrition, try to incorporate traditional diets from various cultures. Why don't you discuss the health benefits of the Mediterranean or Asian or even those indigenous diets? Means you're trying to link the topic to the student's culinary heritage. This is what we call as relevance. Then engagement. Now reflecting students' culture in the curriculum. This helps them. They feel that yes, I am seen, I am valued. Means this is leading to greater inclusivity. Suppose if you are a science teacher, you can introduce that local knowledge systems or indigenous knowledge systems by exploring traditional ecological practices alongside your modern environmental science. Means you can encourage students from native communities to dedicate more actively and also feel a stronger connection to the subject. This is what we mean by engagement. Then respect. Valuing diverse perspectives, it creates a respectful and inclusive classroom where every student feels their voice matters. Now, for example, during classroom discussions, maybe on global issues, encouraging your students to share their perspectives, especially which is based on their cultural backgrounds, this develops mutual respect amongst them. Say you are discussing global water conservation efforts. Now you allow your students, maybe from water scarce regions, to share their community's unique challenges and what solutions they came up with. Now this will be improving the conversation for everyone. Don't you think so? Inside your classroom? Right. Then academic success. Research, it shows that when your students see their cultures are represented in the curriculum, it can improve their academic performance by facilitating a sense of belongingness as well as validation. Suppose if you are a mathematics teacher, just like our Mahesh Kumar sir, what you can do is you may incorporate culturally relevant word problems such as calculating maybe the expenses of a traditional festival or community event. The thing is, the whole idea behind this is we want to make that abstract concepts more relatable, more applicable to our real life situations. So this approach, it has been shown to improve the problem solving skills, especially in underrepresented student groups. Means it is leading to better the it is leading to their better test scores, exam scores, as well as we can see there is greater participation from their side. Okay. Then we have technology enhanced learning. So in the context of HEIs, higher education institutions, technology enhanced learning, it involves integrating the digital tools to enrich the teaching as well as the learning experience. How various digital tools are transforming education, let us check. So learning management systems, LMS. Now, there are many platforms. Say we have Canvas, we have Moodle, there is Google Classroom, there is Blackboard, Edmodo, Talent LMS, LMS 365, Zoho Learn, so on and so forth. So all these LMS, they provide a centralized hub for course management. Means it allows you, the instructors, to organize lectures, assignments, as well as resources. Your students, they can access materials, they can submit assignments, and also you can track their progress. Say in the university or institution, using LMS, you can host all the course related content. Means you are facilitating seamless communication between your students and you, the faculty. Especially we can do this through hybrid or online courses. So as a faculty, you can say schedule that virtual office hours. You can post announcements, or you can even organize assignments efficiently. And your students, they will be receiving instant feedback, and they can just stay updated on deadlines. Then we have interactive content. See, digital tools, they allow the inclusion, incorporation of interactive media. It could be videos, it could be simulations, quizzes, polls. Just a minute. Okay, Ritvik sir says bringing whole community together. Okay. And Aishwarya ma'am says it connects students, language, culture, and life. Perfect, ma'am. Thank you. So I was trying to tell about interactive content wherein we'll be using all the interactive media like simulations, quizzes, videos, anything. Means we want to make learning more attractive, especially in large or even theoretical courses as well. Say in an engineering program, instructors, they use virtual simulations. Means they want to demonstrate those complex machinery operations. Here students, they can interact with 3D models of engines. They can practice assembly, troubleshooting in a risk-free virtual environment. Means this is enhancing their apprehension beyond those textbooks. And this is the power of interactive media. Then accessibility. Online resources, they provide flexible access to course materials. Means we are ensuring our students from diverse backgrounds, they can learn at their own pace, anytime, anywhere. Say a university offering evening courses, maybe for working professionals, it provides recorded lectures, digital resources on their LMS. Means they are enabling the learners, they can balance work they, along with study as well as their personal commitments. So this flexibility supports inclusive education. It accommodates learners with different schedules, different needs, right? Then advanced data analytical tools. These are embedded within LMS platforms, and they allow you, the instructors, to track the performance of your students. We can also understand what is their commitment patterns, what are their areas of difficulty. Means we are just helping them to adjust, right, with your teaching strategies. Say you are using LMS analytics to monitor the results of your students' quiz, or how is it they are participating on a discussion forum. If at all your data shows a significant drop in quiz performance, maybe for a particular topic, as an educator, as a professor, what you can do, you always can revisit on the same topic in your class. You can try to provide them with a supplementary resources, or even you can offer them additional tutoring sessions as well, right? Okay. Then assessment innovations, this is something like beyond traditional testing methods. So in today's education landscape, the concentration, as we all know, it is changing from traditional testing methods to more holistic and diverse ways of evaluating the learning of your students. Now, these alternative approaches, they are offering a more deeper, more accurate consideration of your students' learning, their abilities and potential, especially for real world success. How? Let us discuss. So, portfolio assessments. Portfolio means something like a collection. What is it here under portfolio assessments? So, it involves students, they will be compiling a collection or grouping of their work over time. Means they just want to showcase their learning journey. What is their growth? What are their accomplishments? So these portfolios, it can include essays, projects, reflections, videos, or any other artifacts that is demonstrating their skill development as well as their conceptual understanding. Say, for example, in a graphic design course, students might be asked to create a digital portfolio, means that includes their initial sketches, how did they do, their final designs, as well as reflections on their creative process. Now, this allows you, the instructors, to assess not only the final product, right, but the students' progress as well as their ability. You are giving them, providing them the ability to critique their own work. Would you agree? Yes. Then we have peer assessments. So this allows students to evaluate each other's work, as we have already discussed. Now, this method, it promotes strategic thinking, partnership, constructive feedback, because students must assess the strengths and weaknesses of their peers' work. Say in a business management class, students, they could be asked to review each other's project proposals. Now, as they provide feedback on aspects such as feasibility, strategy, presentation, what is happening, these students, then they not only learn from each other's approaches, but also it is sharpening their evaluative skills. It is helping them to refine their own ideas in this process. Then we have authentic assessments. Now, this involves tasks that replicate the real world challenges or situations. Means we are allowing students to apply their knowledge and skills in practical contexts. So, these tasks, they judge a student's ability. Are they able to perform tasks, right? Whichever they might be facing in their professional life. It also emphasizes on rational thinking, problem solving. Suppose in a medical college, say students, they might be asked to complete a case study where they diagnose a virtual patient based on his or her symptoms, a virtual patient, medical history, and even the test results. Now, the student's ability to synthesize information as well as how are they making decisions, this is especially assessed. This is evaluated, and it is simulating the type of real world challenges they will encounter in future as doctors. This is authentic assessments. Then we have comprehensive evaluation. So this, as the name tells us, it combines multiple assessment methods. It could be the portfolios, it could be the peer assessments, and the authentic tasks, whatever we discussed. Now, here our idea is to offer a more holistic view of students' abilities. This is a multifaceted approach, and it ensures that students are evaluated on a variety of skills such as practical application, creativity, cooperation. What about their systematic thinking? Means this is providing a clearer realization of their that particular student's overall competence. Say, for example, in a language learning course, a student's final grade, it could be based on a mix of written exams, something like testing grammar, vocabulary, then a project portfolio, like how is it they're demonstrating language usage in various contexts. Then a peer reviewed presentation, means which is showing their communication skills, and a real world task such as interviewing a native speaker or just trying to write a travel blog. Now, this combination of assessments, it provides a more accurate picture of what is the proficiency and skill of that particular student, right? Then we have future trends in higher education teaching methods. Increased use of AI. As we all know, AI is becoming a game changer in education. So this provides personalized learning experiences for all learners. AI tools can adapt to individual learning styles. It can track our progress, as well it can offer tailored recommendations. Say, for example, adaptive learning platforms, it can review a student's strengths. It can understand what is the weakness of that particular candidate, and it automatically adjusts the content delivery. See, AI, not only that, it can also optimize grading systems. It can reduce that administrative burdens, and it provides instant feedback. Means this your students can improve very quickly. We have many tools like we have Socrative, we have Newton. All these they use AI, artificial intelligence, to gauge their students' performance, and it suggests the customized learning paths to each and every individual. Means education is becoming more individualized as well as efficient. Then we have a concept called micro learning. Now, anybody knows this concept, micro learning? What is the micro learning? Have you ever come across this? No? No problem. So micro learning, it focuses on delivering short, some bite-sized learning segments that cater to the needs of modern learners. Now, this method, it is perfect for students who have busy schedules, because micro learning allows them to engage in a quick learning sessions, means which are easy to understand, digest, and apply. So micro learning, it is designed to fit into learners' hectic lifestyles. It delivers information in small parts, chunks, and that can be revisited anytime. Okay. Then we have VR and AR, virtual reality and augmented reality. They are just taking education beyond the confines of the classroom. Means it is creating immersive learning experiences. So, through virtual and augmented reality, students can explore 3D environments. They can occupy with simulations. They can visualize that abstract theoretical concepts in much more tangible way. So, this technology, it helps improve your learners' involvement, their awareness, particularly in fields like medicine, engineering, history, because in all these fields hands-on experience becomes crucial. So say in medical education, VR, virtual reality simulations, they can allow your students to perform virtual surgeries. Means it gives them practical experience without any risk to real patients. Similarly, AR, augmented reality, can also enable history students. Say, for example, they can just walk through ancient cities, or they can even interact with historical figures in a lifelike manner. Interesting, right? Okay. As we discover or explore all these advanced teaching strategies, now I would like to invite all of you to tell us your personal experiences. Can you please let us know which of the above discussed teaching methods will work best for your classes? Then I would also like to ask you, have you ever tried any of these methods before? How did it go? Please share with us. If at all, say you have faced any challenges in implementing these strategies, please let us know that also. So not only the faculty, even students or research scholars, if at all your instructors have used these kind of advanced teaching strategies in your classrooms, please share your experiences with us. You can unmute and you can speak. I just asked you, have you tried any of the teaching methods we just discussed? If yes, which one? Which one? Please share with us. And which is the teaching method till now, whatever we discussed, that works best for your classes? Or if at all you have any challenges in implementing any of these methods, please let us know that also. Audience, please share your experience about using these advanced teaching methods.
Ma'am, this is Rashmi again. I have students both in the UG as well as the PG classes. So some of the techniques like the think, pair and share, that is useful with the MSc classes. BScs, actually, the UGs do not understand when we give them reading material or videos. They say that the teachers are, generally don't want to teach. That's why they're using this. So that's the kind of feedback we have gotten. So we're using techniques with the MSc classes rather than with the UG. I think the students themselves have to understand first what we are trying to do, because they are used to the traditional techniques. And especially what happens is that they come from the PUC background, where in Karnataka it is usually mugging up. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, but generally they get prepared for the CET and NEET. So they have this way of studying. So they kind of like, when you ask them to do independent studies, it becomes very difficult for them to handle. So first year, we do just direct teaching, but second year onwards, they get into some of these. So third year, like I said, they do the clinical conference. So collaborative as well as project-based learning comes into picture then. And that we have found really useful, because they do the teamwork, they also solve problems, and they understand how they have to work together.
Right, ma'am. Thanks for that prompt response. So yeah, even Mahesh Kumar sir also says, think, pair, share. I have used it unknowingly. Okay, perfect. But it did not work. But I still prefer to go with it. Yes, sir. Okay. So I don't say that these kind of methods it works in all the situations. As Rashmi ma'am was also trying to point out, how is the difference between UG students, PG students. Similarly, when we are teaching our research scholars, or say when we are teaching our seniors group, so we need to understand whether this kind of particular strategy does it work in that environment or not. Sometimes yes, as you all are trying to tell us, a few methods doesn't work, but still we have n number of advantages, and we need to know where we can, to whom we should be catering such kind of strategies. Yeah. Okay. In closing, I would like to point out the future of education. It lies in how we combine innovation with tradition. Means blending new technologies and approaches with proven pedagogies, right, to inspire the next generation of thinkers, leaders, or even the change makers. So advanced teaching methods, we all should understand that it is not a one size fits all solution, but as I already told, we have to thoughtfully implement it. Then only they can unlock a world of opportunities for both your students as well as to you, the educators. Means we ultimately we just want to make learning more relevant, more dynamic, as well as impactful. All right. Yes. And let's also take a moment for any questions or feedback. What would you like to discuss, respected participants? Do you have any questions?